No, cover your face, but you can you speak into the mic. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a new assistant public defender, part-time, bar attorney.
Okay. All right, let's handle our 33-day motions. I have Del Filibios.
Del Rio Feebles,
Yep.
21 CF 3175, notice
Yes,
of
sir.
non-filing.
All right, that'll be granted. I have maybe Amy or AIM 2021 CF 3251AL
Notice of non-filing.
and granted. I have another AIM 2021 CF 328483AL
Notice of non-filing.
and granted. I have a Dempsey 2021 CF 3211AL.
No information.
All right, so granted. I have a Brown 2021 CF 2611AL.
Notice of non-filing.
All right, granted. Smoking cigarettes up here. I have a Collins 2021 CF 3203AL.
Notice of non-filing.
All right, granted. I do some move ups, they told me first. Ready? Oh, yeah. Good. Good morning, Madam Interpreter.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, well, while we get our defendant up, Dexter on the way. I don't know who it is. Okay, there we go.
It's Brian Key, Judge.
All right, Mr. Key, have you been sworn in this morning?
I don't see Mr. Key, Your Honor.
No, he's on his way. Well, I was gonna swear you in while we're.
Oh, me? Have
Yes.
I been sworn? I'm
Yes.
sorry. Okay, I think I need a little more coffee.
There it is. Do you solemnly swear you'll translate from English to American Sign Language and American Sign Language to English to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do. Julie Balassa, nationally certified interpreter.
All right. As soon as you can try to wave him in. That's fine. Y'all lose Mr. Key? I think they need to bring him a little closer so it's easier for her.
I can see him.
You can see him? You're good? Okay.
Would he be able to remove his mask, though, Judge?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, my name is Brian
What's your last name?
Key.
All right. Mr. Key, you are here in 2019 CF 17143AO on a charge of violation of probation with an underlying charge of battery on a person of 65 years or older. The judge signing your warrant in this case has set your bond at $0. Your bond will remain at $0. I wanted to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, sir. All right. All right. Do I have any other need for the services of the sign language interpreter? Anything? All right. Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. You told me yesterday you, this is Mr. Miola. He's here in 2021 MM 2669AO. Want to appoint a public defender to represent him.
Will waive, Your Honor.
All right. My face sheet says state probation. I don't know if you have updated one. He's not on probation.
Entry error.
Okay. There is a Daniel Mayola, but different date of birth is on supervision. I'm going to release him on mental health pretrial release. If he does not qualify, I'm going to release him on his own recognizance, conditions that he not return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. There you go. Tell me your name, sir.
My real legal name is Parrish France Edwards.
Your real name is?
Parrish France Edwards.
Edison?
Parrish France Edwards.
Igwison.
Edwards. EDWARD.
Or Edwards. Edward's son?
Edwards, like
Edwards?
Jones, like Jones Johnson.
Okay. And all right. Are you also known by Francis Smith?
Yes, sir. They double me up. Yes,
All right.
sir. I'm taking care of it.
All right, sir. You're here in 2021 MM 2680AO on a charge of trespass on property after warning.
Yes, sir. I thought the date
Hold on, hold
was
on.
approximately about up.
I did find probable cause for your arrest as to that charge. Is he on parole? Is that what this is?
Another entry error, Your Honor.
Oh, no, okay, another error. Okay, I didn't look him up, so. All right, State, was there an offer provided to Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor. An adjudication credit time served and no return to Lake Eola.
All right. And Ms. George is standing up to tell me something?
Yes, Your Honor. I tried to speak with Mr. Smith prior to court. I think that it'd be best if we release him on bond conditions. He stated he didn't want to accept the state's offer after I explained it to him.
All right. Mr. Smith, is that correct? Or Mr. Edwards, you do not want to accept the state's offer?
I don't know the issue. I don't know the issue why that the injunction was applied from the first beginning. I did nothing upon the property or to nothing.
Not sure, but it says that you were, according to the affidavit, you were trespassed from the Lake Eola Park back on October 4th of last year, and the trespass was to last a year. So I don't know. That's the reason why, I don't know why it happened before that or whatever, but that's the charge you're here for now.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to resolve that case or?
It's nothing I can exalt, but it's already going on, sir. I'm not involved, invested, sir.
I can't understand what you said, the last thing you said.
Yes, sir?
I didn't understand the last thing you said.
I'm not involved or invested, whatever the crisis is. He just come out and wanted to do it, and he did it under the police. There was no issue at the time of the first injunction.
Okay.
So
But I can't deal with what happened in the past. We gotta deal
There
with
was
what's going on right
having
now.
some activity there on the property, and he just didn't want me there.
Okay.
I
Well, listen to me. Listen to me first. All right. We can't deal with what happened in the past.
Yes, sir.
I can only deal with what's going on right now. I
Right.
just want to make sure that you don't want to resolve this case right now. I want to release you
Yeah,
on some
no,
kind of
sir,
release condition.
I don't want
Okay.
to lose my.
I will, it seems like you don't have any prior failures to appear, so I'm going to release you on your own recognizance with these following conditions.
Yes, sir.
And
I'll respond
return-
to whatever I have to say.
I'm going to tell you, you cannot go
Aye,
back.
aye.
Listen to me, don't stop talking.
Aye, aye.
Do not return to Lake Hill Park. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you. You need to keep in contact with your attorney. If you don't have a mailing address, I'm making a part of
I have a mailing address.
All right? The mailing address is going to be, because it says transient, you got to give me an address.
I have two, mailing address is 2889. It's paid for, sir.
No, you got to provide an address before you leave.
Yeah.
Tell me, it's like this, I want me to get this. You got to provide an address to the corrections, to the clerk before you leave.
Yes,
today.
yes, I was registered well
Wait,
before.
wait.
It should be there. Sorry.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Because if you violate this, then you're going to you're going to get arrested again.
Okay.
So just listen first.
Okay.
You got to provide an address so you can receive mail to the clerk's office before you leave today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you cannot provide an address, an actual address you can get mail at, in order that you go to the public defender's office twice a month, so every 2 weeks, and check in to make sure you're not going to miss your court dates. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Because if you miss your court dates, the judge's going to issue a warrant for your arrest.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
All right? All right, so we talked about this yesterday. I don't know why he's here. I have two. I have Mr. Harrington, I have Mr. Camacho in my packet for today, where I said yesterday I did not need to see him, did not need to wake him up this morning to come to court, for me to tell him that I already signed a warrant for his arrest, for violation of probation. So good morning, Mr. Harrington. Sorry we woke you up this morning. Like as I told you yesterday, I signed a warrant for your arrest on your violation of probation and set your bond at $0. You're already appointed a public defender. We'll get you on to your next court date, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a great day. All right.
Hi, good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well. Put your name on the record. Were you here for Mr. Alderidge?
Yes, sir. Whitney
All right.
Bone.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, let you know. All right, we're, Mr. Alderidge joining us this morning?
He's here.
Yeah, okay. That's right here. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Murphy Ulrich.
Mr. Aldridge, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CF 2182AO on charge of aggravated stalking after injunction. The second charge is 2021 CF 4490AO on 9 counts of transmission of child pornography and 1 count of sexual cyber harassment. The judge signed your warrants in both of those cases. I already found probable cause for your arrest. I'll let Ms. Bowen tell me anything she wants to tell me before I set release conditions as to those two cases.
Judge, I don't know if you had the opportunity on 2021 CF 4490 to review the affidavit in support of the probable cause finding
Yes, ma'am.
in the warrant. However, and I want the court to understand, I understand that a probable cause determination has been made, but as to the issue of the appropriate terms of pretrial release, I would ask the court to consider the following. In reading the affidavit myself, again, I don't believe that probable cause is there, but I am not here to argue that because that decision's already been made by another magistrate.
Okay.
But it is relevant to what terms of release you give him, the weight of the evidence against him. And in my review of the affidavit, I do not see any evidence that would indicate that he actually transmitted anything. There's a speculative belief by an individual who is listed as the alleged victim, and through law enforcement investigation that's detailed in the affidavit, there's nothing to indicate that they uncovered anything that would actually indicate that it was my client. The only information that's there is that the individual stated that the pictures were given by the victim to my client at some point in time. So I would ask the court, based on that and the other factors listed in 3.131B3, which include that he has a significant length of residence in the community. He's been here his whole life. He has family, his ties to the community. I'm representing him, obviously, already. He, to my knowledge, doesn't have any failures to appear or anything of that nature. But specifically based on the total lack of evidence, I would ask the court, even though a PC determination has been made, to ROR my client, because there's no evidence he committed those crimes, even to a standard of reasonable suspicion would be my argument.
The transmission situation is always you got to follow the line backwards kind of thing, where the document came from, where the digital signatures are for the photographs. That's something that's going to happen. I'm quite sure it's happening or is going to happen later on. As to the sexual cyber harassment situation, sounds like what's in that. It sounds like the revenge pornography, which is what the colloquial term for that charge is, where your client was given certain photographs of this victim, and somehow they ended up being transmitted elsewhere.
Right, but the somehow is an element of the offense, Judge, and I mean, there has to be evidence that my client did something, and my point is that what's detailed in the affidavit is that law enforcement searched IP addresses, that there was a significant amount of digging around done as it related to forensic digital evidence prior to issuance of this arrest warrant. And again, I'm not here to argue probable cause because that's not appropriate, but I do think that this is all very relevant in terms of this court setting a very low bond if the court's not willing to ROR him as to these offenses. We're talking about F3s and an M1 also. So if the court is not inclined to ROR him, which would be my request, because I think that based on the lack of evidence, in addition to the other factors this court's supposed to consider under 3.131B3, that would be appropriate, then I'm asking that the court set very minimal bonds as to all 10 of the offenses listed in that affidavit.
All right, so let's start with 4490 and then move forward. Because I have another issue with the other case as well, but go ahead.
Your Honor, as to 4490, state would object to an ROR. He does have a criminal history. He also does have a lengthy history with this victim. There are several open cases between the two. Also, state would point to that it is affidavit. I know Ms. Bone has already commented that we're not looking at PC in this. However, a judge has already found PC. And in addition to that, when this arrest affidavit was drafted, they did look at IP addresses. One of the messages were sent from an iPhone, which is the type of phone that Mr. Aldridge has. There's also supporting evidence that some of these pictures were taken by Mr. Aldridge and some of them were only sent to Mr. Aldridge. Just lending support to the fact that he is the only one that should have had access to said photos since the victim did not send them herself.
All right. So as to counts, I guess the first counts 1 through 9, I'm going to set your bond in those counts in amount of $2,000 on each count. As to count 10, I'm going to set your bond amount of $5,000 as to that count. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the victim of the cyber harassment, and you followed the injunction in 2021 DR 806 AO. You're also arrested in aggravated stalking after injunction case. And in that case, Ms. Bowen, what do you want to tell me as to that?
As to that case, I've already filed a notice of appearance in that case, and I've been in contact with the ASA who is assigned to that case. The state's correct. There are a number of cases between this individual. I think it's important for the court to note, however, that some of those cases include that the alleged victim is the subject of pending prosecutions as well for criminal charges and has been in the past. There are mutual injunctions here. My client is obviously presumed innocent of all of this. I understand that it becomes kind of a hurdle to some extent, like presumptively based on appearance if there's a bunch of cases, but at the same time, it would be my argument that that kind of proves the point itself to some extent in terms of there being a motivated bias, perhaps at this point where it becomes easier to lob charges against my client by law enforcement when this individual keeps pursuing them, when she has a motive to do so, because she is the subject of pending prosecutions herself, and there are mutual injunctions here. So I understand, again, a PC determination has already also been made in that case,
Correct.
pursuant to there being a warrant issued. He is entitled to bond, as the court's aware. I would ask the court in the same manner to consider those factors in terms of setting a low bond, especially considering that the court has now set him 9 bonds in the amount of $2,000 and another one in the amount of $5,000 as to the 4490 case. So I would ask
Well-
that this be a lower bond.
Ms. Bowen, what do you say as to when I saw him back in January and I told him not to have any contact with his victim?
Well, Your Honor, my understanding of the facts in this case, and like I said, I've actually been in contact with the ASA about this case, is that it has been misrepresented in the affidavit in terms of what happened. And in fact, my client was already present at a place when this individual found out he was there and showed up. And that's documented in incident reports from deputies from the Orange County Sheriff's Office that I had the opportunity to review and to provide to the ASA who is assigned to that case. So I understand that what's before you is the affidavit that was prepared by a detective and submitted to the court. PC was found by Judge Karsten. We're not talking about that today. But I would tell the court that, he's obviously presumed innocent. I've already filed a written plea of not guilty. But like I said, I think that there's a bigger problem here, and I think that my client's been painted in an unfair manner, and I think that it's become a snowball effect in a way where we're having to have this conversation that presumes that there was a problem created by him in the first place.
Well, my thing is this. My thing about my no contact orders, and I always try to explain this to people, I ask if you have any questions. I say it's on you to have no contact with this person.
Right.
They call you, they follow you. It is on you to avoid this person at all means, all reasonable means at that point, to get away, stay away from this person.
Which my client exercised, actually, as it relates to what's alleged in the affidavit. Like I said, there's an
So
incident-
I guess my question is the skate ring not somewhere, a place he's not supposed to be to avoid contact with this person?
Your Honor, I understand the court's point, but like I said, I've talked to the ASA about it, and the bottom line is my client was not served with an injunction that included the Astro skate rink, and that is referenced in an incident report from the deputy who responded at the time when my client called law enforcement because Ms. Adams showed up at the skate rink when he was there. And so the rest of what's contained in the probable cause, I'm going to call it a probable cause affidavit, but the affidavit for the arrest warrant by the detective is the statements that he's relying upon largely from Ms. Adams to state that a deputy had to have my client removed on another date, where there's no reference to who that deputy was in terms of the detectives doing any actual independent investigation of that. The other incident that's listed, however, like I stated, I have the incident report for that incident. I've already provided to the ASA assigned to this case. And that incident report references that when the deputy researched the existence of an injunction in conjunction with my client calling law enforcement to report that he was there and this individual showed up, Ms. Adams, that at that point in time, she did not locate an injunction that included that he was not to go to Astro's skate rink. So again, Judge, we're here for the purposes of this court determining the appropriate terms of my client's pretrial release to which he is entitled pursuant to Article 1, Section 14 of the Florida Constitution and 3.131A. My position, Judge, is that, again, the fact that there are ongoing problems here should be something that the court considers in setting a lower bond, because this is spiraled in a manner where I believe this individual is utilizing law enforcement to harass my client. And so I understand that PC's been found, so I'm just asking that based on his length of residence in the community, his ties to the community.
Does anybody have the, because I thought I had the injunction in here, but I only have like a motion to continue.
I can pull it, Your Honor. Oh, which one would you like? I believe there's multiple.
Be the one that we're talking about as far as this injunction.
Your Honor,
21,
I'll
PR
concede
806,
the
yeah.
injunction contains a provision about Asher's skate rink. The issue is that, as is also referenced in the incident report from the deputy at the time my client called the police and he was already there, he was not served with an injunction that included that. And when she looked in the system, that deputy, it also did not reflect Asher's skate rink. It listed stay, don't go within 500 feet, don't go, the normal things. Don't go to employment, don't go to residence, whatever. Don't go within 500 feet of those things.
Right.
But
So then the second instance, as I'm just trying to make sure I understand your version of the facts of what happened, so I can, that obviously you're saying there's some bias. I don't know. I'm not the judge of that as right now. I'm trying to determine whether the likelihood of your client being able to follow through with orders from the court.
I don't believe that there's any evidence here that this court needs to be concerned about that, like I said, because what's in the PC affidavit.
Well, my thing is, so it was the first instance you said where you call law enforcement, which may or may not be the instance that
I
you're
believe that's
referring
the
to.
second listed
There's a
incident.
second listed incident where it happened later on.
No, this is the second one I'm talking about.
Okay.
The first one, if you look at the affidavit for the arrest warrant, there's no reference by the detective to, okay, I looked and I found a report that corroborated that what this Miss Adams said in terms of there being a date in January where she says my client was there and looked at her and then a deputy had to ask him to leave. There's no independent corroboration of that by the detective in the affidavit. It's just her statement that he's relying as it relates to that date. And my position is it's not true. And
That date is not where I'm worried about, because it seems that the injunction was served somewhere between that date and the second time he was seen at the skating ring, in which the injunction then did say, don't come here,
right.
don't go there.
And I addressed that already. That's the incident where it's not even just my client saying that he was not served with a copy that said Asher Skate Rink, but there is an incident report from the Orange County deputy who responded pursuant to his calling law enforcement on that date when Miss Adams showed up because he had an injunction against her, where the deputy did not find that the injunction against him that was in the system referenced Asher Skate Rink. Subsequently, my client did obtain a copy from the clerk's office that was complete and I'm assuming must have been what was intended to be done in the first place that included Asher Skate Rink.
Okay.
He's never gone back there since, Judge. It's not been an issue. So if the court, I'm giving the court information that based upon what my client was served with and what he knew, he was at a place he thought he had a right to be. He even called law enforcement himself,
That's what I'm trying to ascertain, because that's going to make a big difference this morning for me.
I understand.
Because all these things going on, all these things going around, the court's not, can't control those kind of things, other than you obviously need to stay away from this person, as you guys probably need to be separated by leaps and bounds and yards and miles and maybe a state. But I need to ascertain is what the law does tell me under 903 as to whether you're going to be able to follow my orders. And right now, what I'm looking at is that I don't know what you were served with, because I don't know what that is. All I know is that there was some injunction. It looks like we all verified that the injunction signed by Judge Christie was the one that says that you're not allowed to go to the skating ring. You're subsequently seen at the skating ring, which then raises my concerns as to when I ordered you to stay away, which meant I try to be as clear as stay away all means impossible from people when I issue no contact orders.
And Judge, I've
So-
addressed, I feel like
So I was gonna say I can't weigh those facts. I can only weigh what I have in front of me and weigh what I understand what's in the court file right now.
weigh my arguments.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is no different than if someone writes it in a piece of paper and says it, Judge, and I'm an officer of the court, and I'm telling you, I provided a copy of this specific incident report that corroborates that to the state attorney's office. So I disagree that the court can't rely on what I'm telling you because that's why I'm here and my client has the right to have the court consider that information. My concern is that, you know, I think that even if the court accepted the facts that we do not agree to as true in that affidavit, there's no evidence that there's not reasonable conditions of release that can ensure that my client is not disobeying rules of
No,
the
so I'm saying I
court.
have to release him on a bond. So
Okay.
I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Okay.
As to that case, I had to release him on a bond. All right? So I think we're going around in a circle. So, sir.
apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Set your bond in that case amount of $15,000. Condition of your bond, had no contact with the victim. No return to the scene, the skating ring. Comply with the injunction in 2021, DR, was it 806, AO. My concern is, though, is the case I don't have to give him bond on. It's 2021 CF 1110 AO, was the case I told you not to have contact with the victim.
And Judge, I've spoken with pretrial release services about it in the state. Judge Calderon received an affidavit, a violation of pretrial release from pretrial release services and already revoked the bond. He was served with the warrant this morning, and so this court lacks jurisdiction to do anything further as it relates to that case because there currently isn't any conditions of pretrial release at this point in time. He's been served
This
with
is
that
true.
warrant, and I'll address that with Judge Calderon.
All right,
I know.
wish I didn't have.
It just
but thank
happened
you.
this morning.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they just added on.
That's fine. All right, so I'm not going to take any action as to that
Thank you,
case
Judge.
because Judge Calderon has already taken action.
And I'll address it with him, and I
All right,
appreciate your time.
No,
Ryan.
everybody have a
It's
great
nice
day. Good to see you, Ms. Bowen.
Congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
I'll see you later, okay?
Are you okay?
I am, sir. How are you?
Doing well.
It has been a while. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Like, I think you got a melanoma. You got a little, you've been you've been vacationing apparently.
If you could give me 1 second, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day. All right, sir. Tell me your name. Mr. Benitez, you're here in 2021 CF 4364 AO on a charge of sexual battery, lewd and lascivious conduct by a person under the age of 17 and traveling to meet a minor.
Okay.
Judge signing a warrant in this case has already found probable cause. Going to set your bond in count one, amount of $10,000, count two, an amount of $25,000. Going to set your bond in count three, an amount of $1,000. Conditions, you had no contact with the victim in this case. That you not return to her residence or any place of business that she normally attends. That you had no contact with any child under the age, no unsupervised contact with any child under the age of 18 years old. That you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I missed bond on count one.
I think, was it 10,000? Yeah, 10,000.
Okay. And two was 25,000?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, look at me. Hello, how are you doing? Good morning. Tell me your name.
Tonight.
Mr. Knight, you're here in 2021 CF 2861 AO on a charge of lewd or lascivious battery in 2 counts, and in 1 count aiding a minor to run away without notice to the parents. The judge in this case has already reviewed your charging affidavit and your warrant has already found probable cause for your arrest. State you're standing up to tell me something.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have a new warrant?
No, Your Honor. Agent Espinosa, as you see, is present in the court. He just advised me that he obtained a confession from Mr. Knight in the back and wants to be present. I don't know if he would like to be heard.
Well, the charge that would hold him isn't charged,
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, they're only F2s, but
correct? So, as I was asking you, did you have
I didn't know if that would go into your bond determination.
Well, I was already going to set his bond relatively high based on the affidavit that I read.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. I just wanted to bring it to your attention since Agent Espinosa is here.
All right, sir, it's account one. I will set your bond amount of $250,000. As a count two, going to set your bond amount of $250,000. As a count three, you're going to set your bond amount of $100,000. I'm going to make a condition of your bond, you have no contact with this victim or this victim's family. That includes while you're here at the jail. That includes no contact with any co-defendants or any other witnesses that may be involved in this case. You may not turn to any of the places listed in this affidavit, the Days Inn, the Motel 6, or any other place listed in this affidavit. Not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. When I'm appointed public defender to represent you, have a great day, sir.
Were you recording anything? I'll make notes if the ASA knows.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
That's fine.
Ms. Long, you're here in 2021 CF 4525 AO on charge of burglary, conveyance, criminal mischief, and petty theft. The court did review the charging affidavit. In this case, it did find probable cause for your arrest. 1 second. You're going to stay your bonds in this case amount of $3,500 in count one, $250 in count two, and $250 in count three. Condition your bond had no contact with the victim or any witnesses in this case. Not return to the scene of the location. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You are out on probation in 2020 CF 9978 AO. In that case, the court's going to find a on-view violation of your probation. I'm going to set your bond at $0 as to that case. Have a great day, ma'am. I just want to appoint the public defender to represent you in all your cases. Have a great day. Tell me your name, sir.
Javon Waiters.
Mr. Waiters, you're here in 2019 CF 10378 AO on a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing your warrant set your bond at $0 in each one of your counts. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, sir. All right, tell me your name, ma'am.
Tavia Deborah Chambers Warburton.
Ms. Warburton, you're here in 2021 CF 4514 AO on charge of battery on a corrections officer. Court did find probable cause for your arrest as to that charge. Want to stay your bond amount of $2,500. You're out. They were set on release conditions in 2021 CF 4217 AO. As to that case, going to revoke any release conditions that I set for you in that case. Going to set your bond at $0 as to that case. She had no contact with the victim. Should not return to the scene. May not possess any weapons or firearms. On this case. One point. No, she's not out on bond. The law says that if I set release conditions and you violate my release conditions even before you leave the jailhouse, I can hold you at no bond. So that's what I just did. Have a great day, ma'am. One point, the public defender represent you in all your cases. No. That's bond on this case. With a firearm. All right, can you tell me your name, ma'am? Your name. Ms. Brown, you're here in 2021 CF 4516 AO on a charge of possession of MDMA ecstasy. I did review the charging affidavit in that case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to stay your bond amount of $1,000 as to that charge. Condition of your bond that you are not to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're on probation in 2018 CF 14234 AO. I believe there was a There was a on-view filed by the law enforcement officer. In that case, I'm going to stay your bond at $0 as to that case. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in both your cases. Yeah. Well, you got to talk probably to see Judge Lattimore first. I'm going to talk to the public defender first and see if they can get you a bond here in front of your division judge or Judge Lattimore. We're on Spanish.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Leal. I have a defendant with the headsets on here at the BRC. Can you see if you can make a connection?
Sí.
Connected, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, sir, you're here in 2021 CF 4523AO. You were here yesterday because we were discussing the charges that you're facing. The charge that you're facing on the affidavit was sexual battery of a child 12 years and under. The court didn't find probable cause for that, but there is another charge. Well, I was wondering if the state had more information or the updated charging affidavit.
Your Honor, as we addressed yesterday, the appropriate charge in this case would be 800.045B, which is lewd and lascivious molestation of a victim under 12. I did obtain an additional affidavit. Permission to approach?
Yep.
On that affidavit, the offense was corrected to 800.045B, which is that lewd and lascivious molestation, which is a live offense. So state would be asking that you hold a no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
All right, sir, you're being charged now with lewd and lascivious molestation of a child 12 years or under by a person 18 years or older, which is Florida Statute 800.04 sub 5 sub B. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. Ms. George, what do you have to say as the state's request?
No argument. We reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ramos Mejia, the court's going to hold you a no bond as to this case until you can have a full evidentiary Arthur hearing in front of your division judge. Condition that while you're here, you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim, or you're not allowed to have any unsupervised contact with any child under the age of 18 years old. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. All right, have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Edison Frandel Fuentes Orozco.
Edison Frandel Fuentes Orozco.
All right. Does the victim need the interpreter as well?
Damie Ramos.
Ma'am, do you need the interpreter?
Señora, ¿usted necesita intérprete de español?
Sí.
Yes, yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Fuentes Orozco, you're here in 2021 MM 168AL. AA, I'm sorry, Mr. L'Oreal, we're going to switch to this. We're going to do it over the overhead because I need the victim to be able to hear what's going on.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Fuentes, you're here in 2021 MM 168AA on a charge of battery.
Señor, usted está aquí en el caso 21MM 168A de un cargo de agresión física.
I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest.
Ya yo revisé el escrito acusatorio y determiné que hay indicios de culpa que justifican su arresto.
No.
And ma'am, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Señora, si puede levantar la mano derecha para que preste juramento.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Puede afirmar que el testimonio que usted dará en esta causa será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí, la verdad.
Yes, the truth.
Can you tell me, you can put your hand down, tell me your name and your last name, and spell your last name.
Entonces puede bajar la mano, me da su nombre y apellido, y el apellido necesito que me lo deletree letra por letra.
Ramos.
R-A-M-O-S.
All right, tell me your name.
Su nombre completo.
Deymiseyda.
Darmiespiriesi. Señora, repítame el primer nombre.
Deymi.
Daymi, D-E-Y-M-I, Ramos, R-A-M-O-S.
All right. Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Fuentes?
Señora, ¿qué parentesco tiene usted con el señor Fuentes?
Es mi pareja, mi esposo.
He's my partner, my husband.
All right. And are you afraid of him?
¿Usted le tiene temor a él?
No.
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
¿Y en el pasado ha ocurrido algo similar a esto?
No, no ha pasado nada hasta ahora.
No, nothing ever happened until now.
Do you want to have contact with him during the course of this case?
Y mientras este caso está en curso, ¿usted desea mantener contacto con él?
Sí.
Yes.
If something like this were to happen again, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Si algo como esto ocurriese otra vez, ¿usted estaría dispuesta a protegerse llamando a las autoridades?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Fuentes, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision, that you have no hostile contact with the victim.
Señor, lo que voy a hacer entonces es que voy a otorgar una fianza de $500 para salir bajo fianza y tendrá la supervisión del Departamento de Libertad Provisional y se le prohíbe cualquier contacto con hostilidad con la víctima.
No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to have disagreements with your spouse.
Y lo que significa cuando hablo de que no haya contacto con hostilidad es que a usted sí se le permite tener desacuerdo con su esposa.
However, those disagreements cannot become physical. They cannot become violent. They cannot become threatening.
Sin embargo, esos desacuerdos que se den no pueden llegar hasta el punto donde haya una agresión física, donde haya ni violencia, donde haya actitudes amenazantes.
If that happens and your wife calls law enforcement, you will be arrested.
Si eso llegase a ocurrir y su esposa llama a las autoridades, usted va a ser arrestado.
Okay.
If somebody sees or hears you all arguing and they call law enforcement, you will be arrested.
Y si alguna otra persona los ve o los escucha que están teniendo una discusión, ellos llamarían a la fuerza pública.
You'll be spending a lot of time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Usted va a pasar un largo tiempo conmigo aquí en la cárcel del condado de Orange. ¿Entiende usted esto?
Sí.
Yes.
You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
No se le prohíbe tampoco el porte ni la posesión de armas ni armas de fuego. Si tuviese armas, tiene que entregarlas a la comandancia de la policía a las 24 horas de su liberación.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Voy a designar al defensor público para que lo represente. Que tenga buen día, señor.
Okay, gracias.
Thank you.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Isaac Aguilar.
Aguilar.
Mr. Aguilar, you here in... Hold on.
Your Honor, I'm so sorry. This defendant, he's currently bonding out, so he won't be needing to be IA'd.
All right. All right, no drugs, no alcohol. The only thing I'm going to add to your bond conditions. So the bond state is set. No drugs, no alcohol.
Okay.
Okay.
I can still set, he's still here. I can still set conditions on him. I'm not changing his bonds. I'm not doing anything else. Just. All right, I have some arraignments. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter could not find a case number on the database for Mr. Aguilar.
I was going to, let's see. It is 2021 CT 418AE.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, sir, tell me your name.
Raúl Omar Claudio Alcocer. Raúl Omar Claudio Alcocer.
Omar Braulio Escocer.
Mr. Cosell, you're here for arraignment in 2021 MM 1878AO for a charge of providing false information to law enforcement. You're represented by the Public Defender's Office. Ms. George, you have a plea you want to enter on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, sir, we're going to accept your plea of not guilty. We're going to set you for pretrial in Division 83.
Pretrial conference will be June 8th at 1 p.m., courtroom 6C.
All right. And this question, were you able to communicate an offer to him this morning, or?
No, Your Honor, the reason I didn't was because the notes in my system stated that he may be on probation.
All right, that might be a reason not to enter a plea. All right, have a great day, sir.
Sorry, Your Honor, does Your Honor have the spelling of the defendant's last name? Couldn't find it either. Sorry.
Yeah. CLAUDIO. I think he has a second last name, ALCOCE.
Thank you, sir, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Bueno, mi nombre es Neifer Abril.
Morning, my name is Neifer Abril.
Sir, you're here in 2019 CT 8546AO for a violation of probation for the underlying charge of driving under the influence. The judge signed your warrant for your violation and set your bond at $0. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. We'll get you on to your next court date. Have a great day, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Ms. George, you want to enter a denial on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we'll enter a denial.
I'm going to enter denial on your behalf so we can get you a faster court date. Set you.
BOP status will be May 19th.
So your violation of probation status will be May 19th. Keep in contact with your public defender if you want to get your case resolved sooner. Have a great day, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Santiago Meléndez Cruz.
Santiago Meléndez Cruz.
Mr. Melendez Cruz, you're here in 2019. Mr. Melendez Cruz, you're here in 2019 CF 8048, as well as 2019 CF 7979 for violations of probation. The judge signing your warrant in each one of your violations of probation set your bond at $0. We want to appoint a public defender to represent you. Your bonds will remain at $0. We'll get you on to see Judge Lattimore for arraignment, and have a great day.
Here you go.
I think that was my last Spanish case, Ms. Laurel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well, Your Honor.
Have a great day.
You too, thank you.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Tell me your name.
Elena Mosley.
Ms. Mosley here in 2021 MM 2645AO on charges of trespass on property after warning, disorderly conduct, and resisting officer without violence. Did find probable cause yesterday for those charges. And my understanding is that you wanted to enter a plea to resolve your case.
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to enter? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to enter in this case is the truth, the whole truth, none but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right, you put your hand down. Ma'am, you're here in 2021 MM 2645AO
Yes.
on charges of trespass on property after warning, resisting officer without violence. Both of those are first-degree misdemeanors. Both of those are punishable by 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. You're also being charged with disorderly conduct, which is a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that? Those are the maximum penalties.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter, Mrs. George, your client enter a plea of guilty or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, do you understand if you want to enter a plea of no contest in this case, you're going to give up all the rights listed on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Okay. Say yes.
If you're not,
Yes, sir. Sorry.
I did review your charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest, find that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I want to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. Give you credit for the 3 days that you spent.
Your Honor.
With a withhold, sorry.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a withhold adjudication of guilt. We give you credit for the 3 days, correct? 3 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 3 days credit time served. There's a court cost and cost of prosecution in this case of $273. Was a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day, ma'am.
Your Honor, there is also a no return. I'm not sure if a trespass warning was issued.
You guys tell me these no return things. I don't know if I can legally order them to not return as part of a sentence that's ending now. I have no jurisdiction to enforce it. So, don't go back because most likely they're going to trespass you again and arrest you. So
To the airport?
if you don't have a valid ticket,
Not a valid ticket.
I do.
She has a valid ticket.
yeah, if you have a valid ticket, then you're all good. But,
Okay.
try to get on your plane before, the party starts, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
All right. Oh, sorry. Tell me your name, sir.
Say that again.
Your name.
Robert Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, you're here in 2021 CF 4560AO on charge of aggravated assault, dating violence, battery, dating violence, and criminal mischief. You reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Want to set your bond in count 1, amount of $1,000, count 2, $500, count 3, $100. Condition your bond would be pretrial release services. You had no contact with the victim. You have to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return to any shared residence that you have to retrieve any personal items you have at that residence, but you must go with law enforcement.
Sir.
You must not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'll give you 30 days before any narcotics tests start happening, but the alcohol tests will happen immediately. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Michaela.
Can you give me your full name?
Michaela Caldwell.
Ms. Caldwell, you're here in 2021 CF 4521AO on charge of criminal mischief of over $1,000 and battery domestic violence.
Yes.
I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond at count 1 in the amount of $250, count 2, $250. It's going to be subject to pretrial release supervision. You had no contact with the victim in this case, but you need to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Can you tell me your name, sir? Mr. Henry, you're here in 2021 CF 4554AO on charge of aggravated battery, domestic violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Oh, sorry. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $2,500, conditional your bond that you had no contact with the victim. You need to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you one-time return to any shared residence that you may have to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'll give you 30 days before the first narcotics happens, but the alcohol testing will happen immediately. You're out on bond in 2021 CF 3237AO. In that case, the court's going to revoke that bond. We'll set a new bond at $0. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in both your cases. Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, as to the 21 CF 4554, would you order no contact with the witnesses? I believe the victim in this case was a 13-year-old, and there was another juvenile present and the mother.
Well, so we need no contact with the victim's family, you want to say?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so no contact with the victim's family as well. All right, tell me your name, sir.
Moncro Reddick.
Mr. Reddick, you're here in 2021 CF 44780AO on charge of aggravated battery. You're also here in 2021 MM 2674AO on charge of resisting officer without violence. I did review the charging affidavit and, there was a warrant as to the aggravated battery charge. The judge already found probable cause for your arrest. Say, did you want to make an offer as a resisting case?
Your Honor, I hadn't previously. I overlooked it. However, he does want to resolve it today. It would be an adjudication credit time served.
All right. Mr. Reddick, if you want to resolve the resisting case in 2021 MM 267AO, 2674AO, you can resolve that case with an adjudication of guilt, credit time served. Is that something you want to do today to resolve that case? Yes. All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. All right, you can put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2021 MM 2674AO on a charge of resisting officer without violence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. That is punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that? Yes. You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case?
To resolve the case.
No contest.
No contest.
All right. You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights listed on that plea form. I actually need to get him an actual plea form. You understand waive all those rights on that form?
Okay.
Is it yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Say what?
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you can be deported from this country if you enter this plea?
Yes.
I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. Did find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest. Find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. I'll order those costs be paid directly to the clerk within 2 years of today's date. Can somebody actually give him a real actual plea form? Ms. George, can you help me out? All right, you have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment, sentence, and writing. Do you understand that?
So I still stay in jail for 30 days?
Nope. You have 30 days to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. All right, sir, as your aggravated battery charge, of course, going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $1,500. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victim in that case, that you maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. You have a great day, sir. It said maintain separate residence, I thought. Let me see what it says. It says no return to the victim's address, and it says maintain separate residence. Just strike the no return. That's double talk. We'll call that. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jonte Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in 2021 MM 2689AO on charges of battery, dating violence, and resisting officer without violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount $250 on each count. Condition your bond with pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim, that you maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at any shared residence with the victim. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. Do you have any questions about a no-contact order?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Have a great day, sir.
We have Kramer, medical, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Kramer in 2021 MM 2664AO.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we have a victim present.
No, I don't think for Kramer.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, I think it's for our next case. Ma'am, hello, how are you?
Hi.
Are you here for Mr. Kramer or are you here for the gentleman next after him, which I believe is Mr. Lee? Okay, just give me one moment, all right?
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. All right, Mr. Kramer, I'm going to set his bond in amount of $500. Condition on his bond that he have no contact with the victim. He maintains separate residence from the victim. I'll give him a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items he has at any shared residence. He may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. All right, I'm gonna point a public, I already appointed a public to represent him. All right, so on to Mr. Lee. All right. Good morning, Mr. Lee. Can you tell me your name? Hello, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee, you're here in 2021 MM 2679AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Court did review the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. I have a witness in the witness booth. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Summer Hope McKinnon, McKinnon.
All right. And can you tell me how you know Mr. Lee? Well, sir, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? I apologize. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you tell me how you know Mr. Lee?
He is my boyfriend of 4 years, and we met. His father and my father are best friends, and I met my father in Orlando 4 years ago, and that's how I met Mr. Lee.
All right. And are you afraid of Mr. Lee?
Most definitely not.
Do you want to have contact with Mr. Lee during the course of this case?
For the rest of my life, yes.
All right. Has anything like this happened in the past?
Never. He's never laid a hand on me, ever.
If something like this were to happen in the future, do we feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
If it did, yes, but I know it won't.
Well,
Sorry. Yeah, yes.
people tell me about, the future all the time.
Yes, sir.
If I was Miss Cleo or somebody, then maybe I can tell the future. But,
yes, Your Honor, I
all
would.
right. Did drugs or alcohol play a role during this incident?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Lee, I'm going to set your bond in this case an amount of $750, condition of your bond that you have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. So I'll explain to you this. No hostile contact means this to me. You can have some kind of disagreements with your girlfriend, all right? However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn physical. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point where she's going to call law enforcement, or similarly, like in this case, where somebody sees or hears you all arguing is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will be arrested. You spend a lot of time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You do not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol while a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'll give you 30 days before the first narcotics test happens, but the alcohol testing will happen immediately. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
how much was his bond?
$750.
How much is that to get out?
I got to talk to a bondsman, or you can pay the $750. I don't know, that's sure.
Is it 10% of that?
Yeah, it might be some other fees attached, so you got to shop around and figure out,
Yes,
what's
Your
the
Honor,
best deal.
thank you so much.
All right, tell me your name.
Brittany McGregor.
Ms. McGregor, you're here in 2021 MM72AE on a charge of battery. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I have a witness in the witness booth. Sir, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Scott Michael Wilkins, Wilkins, WILKINS.
All right. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, Mr. Wilkins, can you tell me how you know Ms. McGregor?
She is my wife of nearly 7 years, and we have a 6-month-old girl and a 5-year-old boy.
All right. You can probably stand up. You don't have to bend
I
down
know,
so
I
much.
just-
Yeah, that's fine. And do you want to have contact with her during the course of this incident?
Absolutely.
All right. Are you afraid of her?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role during this incident?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
All right, Ms. McGregor, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision that you have no hostile contact with your husband. No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to have disagreements with him. You're allowed to tell him, why'd you leave the toilet seat up, or then clean up some mess that you left behind. All those arguments are okay for a marriage and things that happen between people that are in a relationship. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn physical. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point where he's going to call law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will spend a lot of time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
All right. Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Danielle Peralta.
Man, you're here in 2021 MM 2681 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Court did review the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You gotta close that door. Somebody's like, thank you. All right, leave off. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I say no return, maintain separate residence, one-time return?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. State, did I miss anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Have a great day, man.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
How you doing, Your Honor?
How you doing? 1 second here. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Kevin Dion Steplight Jr., sir.
Mr. Steplight, you're here in 2021 MM 2685 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Court did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. Additionally, your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return to retrieve any personal items you have at a shared residence, but you must go with law enforcement.
Even if it's my resident, I have to go with law enforcement. It's my mom's house.
Yeah, so you got to maintain a separate residence.
Okay, but it's my sister. She don't stay there.
Yeah, so if you can, once again, if there's a shared residence
Yes, sir.
where you and her stay,
Yes, sir.
like I give people one-time returns. You need to maintain a separate residence. So if she's at her house and you are at your mom's house,
Yes, sir.
aren't you maintaining a separate residence?
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to, yep.
Yes, sir.
Well, no weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, is he not out on bond on 21 CF 2079?
Oh, you tell me.
I believe he is, and we filed home invasion robbery and burg dwelling with a battery therein.
He's a junior, so you're,
Kevin Steplight Jr. That's my little brother who just came in probably like a month ago.
all right, cover your nose for me.
Sorry.
Yeah, cover your nose.
Your Honor, he's correct, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. He is a junior, so I mean, maybe a senior.
That's my third. He the third. Oh, that's my baby brother.
All right,
And
well,
the date of births are similar. It's 98 and 88.
Yeah,
Yeah,
98
all right.
and 88, right.
All right, sir. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Elisa Davis.
Ms. Davis, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CT 2930 AO and 2021 CT 2931 AO on charges of abuse of a temporary tag to avoid vehicle registration and no motor vehicle registration. They reviewed the charging affidavits in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Did we provide an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer that was conveyed was an adjudication credit time served.
Yep.
Your Honor, I understand the state's making an offer, but my client doesn't want to accept it, except
Okay.
for ROR or in the alternative of pretrial release.
Telling me she doesn't qualify for pretrial release.
Your Honor.
She qualifies now?
Yeah, I don't have
All right. All right, ma'am, I release you on pretrial release in this case. Condition of pretrial release, no operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you in both your cases. Have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. I have an arraignment for Tyler Lincoln, 2021 CT 6613 AO.
He's medical, Your Honor.
He's a public defender client.
I'm sorry, who, Your Honor?
Tyler Lincoln.
We'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Division 84, pretrial conference, May 10th, 9 a.m., courtroom 4B.
I have an arraignment for Abdurrahim, 2019 MM 7148 AO.
I don't know where he is. If he's coming, I don't know.
Abdurrahim, as a public defender client.
We'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
That's Division 85.
Pretrial conference, May 3rd, 9 a.m., courtroom 4A.
Yep. All right, this is Mr. David Bryan, Travis Bryan, 2021 MM 2184 AO.
We'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, that's Division 63.
Division 63, pretrial conference date is May 20th at 1 p.m., courtroom 12C.
I have an arraignment for 2021 MM 8691 AO Guerrero. It's a public defender client.
We'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
I got one more.
Division 83, pretrial conference, June 8th, 1 p.m., courtroom 6C.
And I had Rodriguez Mall, 2021 MM 849 AO. It's a public defender client.
We'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
That's Division 83 as well.
Pretrial conference day, June 8th, 1 p.m., courtroom 6C.
Tell me your name, sir.
Isaiah Alicano.
Mr. Alisano, you're here in 2021 MM 2686 AO on charge of possession of a concealed weapon. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Condition your pretrial release that you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. May not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Have a great day, sir. Well, I was going to appoint a public defender to represent you as
Can you
well.
repeat that again?
Which part?
You said I was driving a vehicle without a driver's license?
I said, you were releasing you on pretrial release. You cannot possess any weapons or firearms. You got to turn those over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. May not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Yes, sir.
All right?
I'm
I'm going
sorry.
to appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day. Tell me your name, sir.
Teodoro Lazo.
Mr. Lazo, you're here in 2021 MM 237 AW on charge of trespass on property after warning and open container. Viewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. State, you give an offer to Mr.
Yes, Your Honor, the offer conveyed was an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to Wawa.
All right, sir, you want to accept the state's offer of adjudication of guilt, credit time served? All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2021 MM 237 AW on charges of trespass after warning and open container. Trespass is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Open container is a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable by 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that? You gotta answer me out loud. You have to answer me out loud. I can see you shaking your head, but it's a court reporter taking everything down we say. So you gotta say yes, no, I don't understand. so that we understand what's happening, okay?
Yes.
Did you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case?
No contest.
All right. You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights listed on that plea form in front of you.
I understand.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
No.
You don't understand that, or you
You repeat that question?
you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, if you enter this plea, you can be deported from this country?
Oh, yes.
I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis for the hearing of your plea. I accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I give you credit for the
2 days.
2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court calls the cost of prosecution in this case of $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Have a great day, sir. Do you have an updated for our next gentleman?
More term. More timber.
Mortimer or Mortimer?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Monomer or Mortimer? Like the great movie?
He bonded.
They bonded? All
John
right.
Mortimer,
Yep,
he bonded.
they bonded. All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Dan Powers?
Mr. Powers, you're here in 2021 MM2675AO on charge of petty theft. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State was an offer you were able to convey this morning.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication, credit time served, no return.
All right. Mr. Powers, did you want to accept the state's offer of adjudication of guilt, credit time served?
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
All right, let's get your hearing devices then. All right. So you're being charged in 2021 MM2675AO with the crime of petty theft. The state's giving you an offer of adjudication of guilt, credit time served. Do you want to take that offer?
Can you explain exactly what that means?
Means they're offering you to be convicted of the crime. You'll serve 2 days, which you already served in the Orange County Jail, and you had to pay court costs and cost of prosecution of $273.
Well, do I have to pay that now? I don't
Nope,
have
I'll
it
give you
now.
1 year from today's date to pay that money in full.
I'm sorry?
I'll give you 1 year to pay the money.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, before we even get started, that if you enter this plea, if you get convicted of a subsequent petty theft, it can be used to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can put your hand down. So you've been charged in 2021 MM2675AO with a crime of petty theft. That's a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable by 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case?
Guilty resolves the case, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand? You accept the plea. If I accept the plea of guilty, you're going to waive all the rights listed on that plea form.
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, I'm not.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, I haven't.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
I'm sorry?
If you're not a United States citizen, entering this plea could subject you to being deported from the country.
Yes, sir.
I did have the opportunity to review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. I accept your plea of guilty. Find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge. Give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and cost of prosecution in this case are $273. I order you pay those costs within 1 year of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day, sir. All right. Yes, ma'am? Oh, sorry. All right, tell me your name, ma'am.
Jerry Smith.
Ms. Smith, you're here in 2011 MM 8648AO on a failure to appear warrant with underlying charge of petty theft, I believe. Yes. The judge signed your warrant, set your bond amount of $2,000. Bone asked the state of Florida if they have an offer to resolve your case today.
Yes, Your Honor, the offer conveyed was a withhold credit time served, no return to Walmart.
All right. Did you want to accept the state's offer of a withhold adjudication of guilt credit time served?
Yes.
All right. You gotta close this door. Because nobody can hear anything, including me. All right. Man, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, put your hand down. Ma'am, you're here in 2011 MM 8648AO on charge of petty theft. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that? So the maximum penalties for a second-degree misdemeanor is 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Do you want to plead of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
What's that mean?
Guilty is saying I did it. No contest is saying I don't necessarily agree with the facts, but I want to resolve my case.
I'm guilty.
All right. You understand by entering a plea of guilty, you're going to waive all the, where's our plea form?
I think we have one.
There you go. Hello. There it is. Did you review that plea form?
I need someone to help me read this.
To read it?
Yes.
All right, I can go over some of it with you right now. Man, do you understand that you, by entering, if you want to enter a plea of guilty, look at me, hold on. That you're going to be waiving your right to a jury trial in this case, where the state would have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
To speak with her. I just speak with her.
All right, What's George, how about you step back and speak to her, and I can deal with somebody behind you, right behind you there. All right, can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Kendra Vicks.
Ms. Vicks, you're here in 2020 MM 1579AO on for a failure to appear warrant, where the underlying charge is possession of drug paraphernalia. Judge signed your warrant, set your bond amount of $250. I was going to ask the state if they even going forward on this case.
No, Your Honor, state's filing a null pros right now.
All right. So the state of Florida is dismissing the charges against you, ma'am. Have a great day. All right. Hello, come on. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Tanya Basdeo.
Ms. Basdeo, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2020 CF 5652AO for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signed your warrant, set your bond in count one amount of $7,000, count two an amount of $300. You were arrested in 2021 CF 4520AO on charges of possession of cocaine and trespass on a structure and a structure of conveyance. Court did review the charge of affidavit. In that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in that case, amount of, I believe, $1,000 in count one, $150 as to count two. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription as part of your release conditions. And you may not return to the scene of the location where the incident happened. You'll also be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. I'll give you 30 days before the first narcotics test happens as to that case. However, you're out on bond in 2020 CF 10823AO. In that case, I'm going to revoke that bond. We're going to set a new bond of $0 as to that case. I'm sorry, ROR, I apologize. Or set a new bond as, on set a new bond in the amount of $0 as to that case. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case, and all your cases, I apologize. You have a great day. Are we ready to address Ms. Smith?
Yep.
All right, ma'am, tell me your name one more time.
Jerry Smith.
All right. Ms. Smith, you're still on the oath from when we talked from like a minute ago. Do you understand, do you have to talk to Ms. George, do you understand what's going on right now? You gotta say yes or no.
Yes.
All right. All right, ma'am, do you understand, you wanna continue with your guilty plea in this case?
No, I want to plead no,
No contest.
no contest.
Right. Do you understand if the court accepts your plea of no contest, you can waive all the rights on the form that Ms. George went over you with?
Yes.
All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes.
What was that mental health illness?
ADHD, bipolar, anxiety,
Right.
and schizophrenia,
All right. Are you suffering from the symptoms of your mental health illnesses right now?
anxiety.
All right. Well, other than, I'm a big guy here, and you're in a concrete building. Anything or outside of that? The fears that she's going through, or anything like that, other than just being here?
Claustrophobia.
Okay. All right. We can get you on here as quickly as possible. All right. Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
All right. You understand if you're not a United States citizen, you can't be deported from this country by entering this plea.
I am a United States citizen.
Okay. I had an opportunity to view your charging affidavit while I was in chambers this morning. I did find a factual basis contained in that charging affidavit. I will accept your plea of no contest in this case. Find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I will withhold adjudication of guilt. I give you credit for the
10 days.
10 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 10 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Have a great day. I want to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Bitchy Murray. Ms. George.
We'll waive, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
All right, I wanted to, in 2021 CF 4557 AO, the court did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for his arrest. Also in 2021 MM 2683 AO, court did find probable cause for his arrest as to those charges, as well as 2021 CF 4555 AO, did find probable cause for his arrest as to those charged in that case. The court's going to say all the bonds are set in the case, condition of bond in each one of his cases that he's not allowed to possess any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription, or return to the scene of the location where the incident happened. He's out on pretrial release in 2020 CF 10056 AO, GO. Court's going to revoke that pretrial release in this case. We're going to set a new bond of $0 as to that charge. This is
Your Honor, we are conflicted off of that case, so since he's not here, are you going to reappoint us or leave him?
as to which one,
The out on
2020?
bond.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys, keep his attorney, whoever it is
Okay.
on that case.
Thank you.
I have to point you to the other cases, and if you have a
Okay.
conflict, you guys can, file motions and stuff. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Kevin Burchin?
Mr. Bridgen, you here in 2020 CF 11648 AO for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing your warrant sets your bond at $0. Your bond is going to remain at $0 in this case. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case if you're not already appointed. You have a private attorney?
No, sir.
Say again?
No, sir. Ooh.
Oh,
No, sir.
was it a conflict counsel or something? Or did somebody hire an attorney for him while he was?
Your Honor, I have Reagan Younger from Younger Law.
Okay. What was I saying? Was it court appointed?
I'm currently helping the Maitland Police Department against a case against her, actually. I don't know. I don't think she should be my lawyer
I
anymore.
have no control over that. So, you have an attorney already appointed, you already assigned to your case, so we'll make sure you get that information. Have a great day,
He's in
sir.
jail.
No, your attorney is in jail?
Yes. That's who yeah.
You said David
Reagan.
Reagan Younger?
G-A-N, yes. Younger, Y-U-N-G-E-R.
Is it Reagan Younger in our custody?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well.
He currently is for a life offense.
All right. So we're going, of course, going to withdraw her from the case. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you while we're here in our custody. And if you need to hire a new attorney, then you'll take action and do that. You'll have representation while you're here in our custody. Anybody report that to the Florida Bar while we're talking about that?
I do not know. This was back in March 10th, is when she was booked. So I'm assuming.
No, sorry, not. You can go. You can go.
I will notify
Can somebody
higher
please
command.
follow that up, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me your name, sir. Can't hear you.
Ryan Eads.
What happened to Chapman? Mr. Chapman bonded. All right.
Wow.
Very confused there. All right, Mr. Eads, you're here in 2021 CF 4538AO on charge of robbery, sudden snatching. Judge signed your warrant in that case, set your bond amount of $1,500. Want to stay your bond as set in that case. Conditions of your bond. Let me get to that page. That you have no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants. That you do not return to the scene of the location. Do not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And you do not possess any weapons or firearms. You have 24 hours to turn over any weapons or firearms if you are released from custody. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You got your own attorney? Yeah. But in this case, you don't have an attorney yet. So, well, you gotta, yeah, that had to go through the process. So if you have an appointed attorney for another case, because the PDs have a conflict, the PDs have to follow that, they have to file motions of conflict, the reason conflict has a conflict, and then we get you to that court-appointed attorney again. So we just gotta go through that process. Right now, I'm gonna appoint a public defender to represent you. That's what the Florida Supreme Court tells me I need to do. All right, tell me your name. Mr. Graves, you're here in 2021 CF 4515AO on charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. You're gonna stay your bond in this case, amount of $1,000. You're issuing your bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're also out on
ROR.
RR. Did you guys file all these charges?
1 second, Your Honor.
Or it hasn't been filed yet?
They only filed 2, Your Honor.
Okay.
Possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
All right, sir, as to that, Curry, when we revoke your RR status as to count 1 and 2, going to set bonds in those counts, amount of $2,000 in count 1, $1,000 as to count 2, going to RR you as to count 3. Condition that bond, not possessing drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. Actually, in both cases, he's going to be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. Give him 30 days before the first narcotics test happens. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir. And State, we were on a misassumption yesterday.
Regarding,
We were discussing the degrees of attempted murder.
For the case that came in as attempted homicide?
Correct. Because after review what it was, murder is a capital offense. So the next lesser offense would be
A life?
life offense. So,
I will contact someone to see if they want to do a motion for.
I mean, you guys can always take action to, if you feel like you have enough evidence and go forward with Arthur hearing or request one.
Understood.
But, well, I did the research when I was looking at this case.
Yes, Your Honor, there's a lot going on with that one.
Yeah.
Definitely with the wrong statute and everything.
Correct. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Antonio Hardiman.
Is it Hardiman? Is it Hardiman?
Hardiman, yes.
Hardiman. Mr. Hardiman, you're here in 2021 CF 2823 AO on a charge of attempted felony murder with a firearm, shooting into an occupied vehicle. The judge signed your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. All right. And say what you say is the count one.
Your Honor, as to count one being a life offense, state is asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
All right, Ms. George. All right, sir, as the count one, I'm going to hold you a no bond in that count. I was going to put the public defender represent you, going to hold you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. He stated that he has a private attorney.
You have a private attorney?
Yes, sir.
Who's your attorney?
Victor Meade.
Who?
Victor Meade.
Did anybody have any contact with Mr. Meade? Did you sign a contract with him already?
Your Honor, I don't see an NOA for Mr. Meade.
Or are you in the process of trying to hire Mr. Meade?
He's on retainer, sir. So he should be aware.
What's that? He's in there? Can we try to give him a ring?
Okay.
All right, we're going to step back for a moment and try to get your attorney on the phone. All right, I had Eugene Jacques is bonded. All right. All right, tell me your name, sir.
Mark Group Nikki.
Mr. Kurt Mickey, you're here in several cases. The first one, 2021 CF 4558 AO, you've been charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of oxycodone, and possession of MDMA or ecstasy, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You're also here in 2021 CF 4559 AO, a charge of armed burglary of a conveyance with a firearm, possession of a firearm by commission of a felony, grand theft of a firearm, grand theft of motor vehicle. You're also here in 2021 CT 2928 AO on charge of driver license suspended as a subsequent offender. You're also here in 2021 CF 4556 AO on charge of possession of a firearm by convicted felon, possession of ammunition by convicted felon, and possession of a weapon by convicted felon. All right, so in 4558, I did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. Going to stay your bonds as set in those charges. Leave the amount of 1,000, is it 1,000, 1,000?
I have 1,000,
All right,
150, 150, 100.
1,150, 150, 100. Addition of the bond, you're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
100.
Not have any contact with your co-defendant in that case. You're in 2021 CF 4556 AO. Court did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. State your bond, I believe it's 4,000.
I have 3,500, 150, 150.
State your bonds 3,500, 150, 150. Addition to that bond, not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. No contact with your co-defendant.
Yeah.
Any weapon or firearm you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're in 2021 CT 2928 AO. Courts did find probable cause for your driver's license suspended. Gonna set your bond, I'm gonna set your bond in case amount of $500. Was it? Yes, 500. I'm gonna say your bond amount of $500. Cannot operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All right, let's get to 2021 CF 4559 AO, where state as a count 1 and 2. I mean, I can guess count 2 if you combine it with the other facts from the other cases, but in that specific affidavit, so I didn't know if you wanted 24 hours.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's accounts 1 and 2. This court's going didn't find any probable cause. Going to get the state 24 hours to submit subsequent reports. As to the grand theft of firearm charge, going to set your bond amount of $4,000. Again, the grand theft motor vehicle charge, going to set your bond amount of $2,500. Addition to that, you're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to stay his bond at 0, and those 2 counts I'm going to hear tomorrow. The armed burglary of a conveyance and possession of a firearm or commission of a felony. Yes. Going to stay him at 0 right now until we can get more information. Yes, ma'am. No weapons or firearms, no contact with the co-defendant in this case. All right. You're out on pretrial release, or in 2021 CF 2720 AO. Going to revoke that pretrial release in this case. Going to set a new bond in that case at $0. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, sir.
I'm sorry, could you go back to the bond? No, 2,500
2,500 and 1,000, I think I said. We have Mr. Mead. Oh, we gotta go back to Mr. Hartman. Yeah. All right. Good afternoon. Well, good morning still. Oh, sorry. Oops, hang up. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, can I put your name on the record, please?
Yes, Victor Mead.
Mr. Mead, Mr. Hartman is telling me that you represent him in this 2021 CF 2823 AO case on a charge of attempted felony murder with a firearm and shooting or throwing into a occupied vehicle.
Right, I think I filed a notice of appearance.
Okay. And my intention was to hold him no bond on count 1 until you can have a full Arthur hearing. Did you want to be heard as to that?
Which is, again, just so I'm clear, you're holding him on no bond until we have an Arthur hearing, correct?
Correct. And I'm not going to make a determination as to proof evident presumption great right now.
I figured that's what you were going to do anyway.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hartman, I'm going to hold you no bond as to that charge, and we're going to give you an opportunity to appear in front of the division judge to have a full Arthur hearing. I'm going to set a bond in count 2 in the amount of $5,000. Condition on your bond to have no contact with the victim or the victim's family, that you are to not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not to return to the scene of this location where this incident happened. All right, Mr. Mead represents you. We get you on to your division judge to have that full hearing. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Mead, have a great day.
Nice talking to you. See you later.
All right, Mr. Hartman, have a great day.
Bye.
All right. You're telling me about Mr. Starker. Okay. Mr. Starker refused. Going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
Will waive.
All right. I did review his charging affidavit in 2021 CF 4485 AL on charge of possession of amphetamines, fentanyl, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Going to stay his bonds as set, 1,000, 1,500. Addition of his bond, no drugs, alcohol without valid prescription. Tell me your name, sir.
Ray Jerome Styles Jr.
Mr. Styles, you're here in 2021 CF 4517AO on charge of grand theft motor vehicle. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. Did find, this is a warrant, right? Sorry. Oh, sorry. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond that you had to have any contact with any victims or witnesses or co-defendants. Not return to the scene of this incident where you were arrested, and not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Sir.
All right. Is Mr. Vargas going on? All right, tell me your name, sir. Mr. Vargas, you're here in 2020 CF 13025AO on a failure to appear warrant. The judge said in your warrant set your bond at $0. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you if you're already not appointed. Have a great day, sir.
No action on the.
Well, no action on these bond cases. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Jimmy Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2021 CF 4544AO for 2 counts of petty theft with 2 prior theft convictions. The judge signed your warrant, set you on pretrial release. However, since you don't qualify for pretrial release, so the court's going to set your bond at $1,000 on each count. I'm going to make a condition of your bond not return to the scene of the location, have no contact with any victims or witnesses in this case. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Yes.
All right, tell me your name, sir. Mr. Williams, you're here in 2021 CF 4562AO on charges of possession of methamphetamine. The court did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. On set your bond in that case amount of $1,000. Condition your bond that you're not possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You have some out-of-county warrants from Osceola County in 2020 CF 1181 and 2020 CF 1111. Those the bond judge signed those warrants, set your bond at $0. We want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. All right. Tell me your name, sir. No, cover your face. Cover your face. There you go. Just speak loud and clear.
Prince Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2020 MM 4813AO for a failure to appear warrant on a charge of resisting officer without violence. Judge set your bond amount of $1,500. State that you guys want to resolve that case.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to state your bond amount of $1,500 as to that charge. You're here in 2021 CF 4519AO on charge of fleeing to attempt to elude law enforcement with lights and sirens activated. Did review the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. You're also here in 2021 CT 2932AO. All right, look at me, man. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I was looking at him.
She's not talking to you. All right, because reading this report, you got a problem focusing, so focus for, let me get this done. 2021 CT 2932AO, on charge of driver's license suspended. You're also here in 2021 CF 4518AO on charge of grand theft motor vehicle, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of cocaine. They reviewed that charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. In 2021 CF 4519AO, going to set your bond amount of $3,500. In 2021 CT 2931, stay your bond in that case an amount of $500. In 2021 CT 4518 AO. I want to set your bond in count one in the amount of $2,000, count two in the amount of $1,000, count three in the amount of $1,000. Condition the bond in all your cases. You're not allowed to possess any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Your first narcotics test is going to happen 30 days from today's date, but alcohol testing will happen immediately. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir.
Sorry, Your Honor, is that RUA in all his cases?
Yes, ma'am.
In the FTA case?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a bond on the,
You got bonds in all your cases.
okay, that's all I need to know.
Good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Terry Wood, sir.
Mr. Wood, you're here in 2021 CF 4539 AL on charge of grand theft motor vehicle. Court did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in that case amount of $2,000. Condition of your bond is you're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses. You're not allowed to return to the scene of the location. You're out on bond for another grand theft motor vehicle charge in 2021 CF 1236 AO. In that case, I'm going to revoke that bond. I'm going to set a new bond at $0 in that case. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. They're not already appointed. Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, you set the bond at 2,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Tell me your name, sir. Your name.
Daniel Wolford.
Mr. Wolford, you're here in 2021 CF 4486 AO for a violation of a sex offender failure to register and 2 counts. The judge signed your warrant in that case. He's already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in both counts amount of $2,500. Condition of your bond, you have 48 hours from the time you're released from the Orange County Jail to go to the sheriff's office and register as a violent sexual predator or a sex offender. You're out on bond in 2020 CF 5292 AO for the same charge. The court is going to revoke that bond in that case. Going to set a new bond at $0. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
O'Shea Yarbrough.
Yarbrough, you're here in 2021 CF 4540 AO in 3 charges. The first one is possession of cocaine with intent to sell and deliver, possession of cocaine with intent to sell and deliver with a firearm, and possession of carrying a concealed firearm. Court did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. I'm going to stay your bonds as set. Let me check. It's $15,000. Sorry, $15,000 in count 1. I'm going to set your bond in count 2 in the amount of $15,000. I'm going to stay your bond in count 3 in the amount of $4,000. Condition your bond not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. May not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're out on bond in 2020 CF 10351 AO for carrying a concealed firearm. Court's going to revoke that bond. We're going to set a new bond at $0 in that case. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you in both your matters. You have a great day, sir.
So,
Your Honor, can I ask why there's 2 charges?
One was with a firearm, one was not.
I have a question. So I have no bond?
As to the old charge, no.
For the one that I'm out on bond for?
That doesn't have, you don't have a bond as to that charge.
You can't reinstate it for me?
You're just arrested for the same exact charge, sir.
It's only for protection. I have a fractured foot. Like I have a job interview on Monday. I have the job already.
Yeah, you could have got,
Light risk.
that's fine. Have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Stephen Cole.
Mr. Colt, you're here in 2000, sorry, well, do we have a case number for this CT case now? 'Cause I didn't have one on my paperwork.
The
Madam Clerk.
clerks.
All right, you're arrested. I don't know what case number you're on, but arrested for a charge of no valid driver's license. Did find probable cause for that arrest based on the charging affidavit. I'm going to state your bond in that case amount of $500. Issuing your bond, not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. The filed an on-view violation of your probation in 2019 CF 5499AO. Set your bond at $0. Bond's going to stay at $0. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in both your cases. You have a great day, sir.
You know when our court date is?
You should be seeing Judge Lattimore pretty soon, as soon as they file the warrant. We don't need to see Mr. Camacho.
You don't have to bring him in if you don't want.
We don't have to bring in Mr. Camacho. Mr. Camacho, I explained to him yesterday, he's going to be held to no bond. He's a violent felony offender of special concern. All right, sir, tell me your name.
David Chrisman.
Sir, you're here in 2020 CF 4192AO. You're here for a violation of probation. Court did review the judge signed your warrant, set your bond at $0 in 2020 CF 4192AO. Bond's gonna remain at $0. We're gonna appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. All right, get you on to your next court date. Have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Juan Miguel Ramos.
Sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6481AO on violation of probation. The judge signed your warrant in this case is already found, set your bond at $0. Your bond's gonna remain at $0. Sir, you're a violent felony offender of special concern. You're not gonna be entitled to release on this case until your violation of probation is completed. We want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. All right, tell me your name, man.
Jack McGee.
Ms. McGee, you're here in 2017 CF 14957AO for violation of probation. The judge signing your warrant in this case, set your bond at $0. Your bond's gonna remain at $0 in this case. We're gonna appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am. Did I see her as well?
No.
Okay. All right, and the bail bond? All right. Sounds good to me. Well, we can do anything for him in here anyways. The GPS tracking part of his bond release. Hello. Can you tell me your name, ma'am? Your name?
Gonzalez.
Ms. Gonzalez, you are here in 2020 CF 1610AO for a out-of-county violation of probation warrant. Judge Young said he's not going to change your bond, so we got to transport you to Osceola. So we'll get you down there in another day or so. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case. Have a great day.
Honor, is the bond $0?
Yep, bonds are $0. All right, does anybody have anything else for the better of the order?
No, Your Honor.
Everybody have a great day. All right, on the record, question? Okay. All right, so we're adjourned.